I've been working on internet platforms and online services for about 20 years, and have always been very interested in how can internet-based platforms transform society, media, commerce, other forms of applications. That's really inspired a lot of the work that I've done historically. Most recently I built a company, took it public, and was at a place where I was sort of ready to hand over that business. And just as I was doing that, which was just about a year ago, I started to look much more deeply at Bitcoin. And the more I looked at it, the more excited that I got. And it very much reminded me of the excitement that I had when I first experienced, internet-based software back in 1990 and 1991, 92. And to me, having originally studied economics, political science, and international political economy, it was a real personal passion to think about how does the internet really fundamentally more deeply integrate the way the economic system works around the world. Right now, we're in such an early phase of Bitcoin in terms of its mainstream uses. So when we look at the world today, there's hundreds of thousands of users, not millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions. And so when I think about the opportunity for a consumer internet service and brand on a global basis, I ultimately believe the opportunity is hundreds of millions, if not billions of users. And so from my perspective, I'm trying to think about what does Bitcoin need to look like for really broad and mass adoption. And so a lot of the focus for us right now is really building a consumer product that your average person would be able to interact with and understand in the same way they interact with Gmail or Skype or other core kind of consumer services on the internet. And I don't think anyone's accomplished that yet today. And there are a lot of challenges to overcome in order to do that. Technical, user experience, liquidity, regulatory regimes. So it's a complex set of problems to solve, which is very attractive to me. But we're really, I think, most deeply focused on how to make this a very straightforward, very easy and instant experience for consumers that want to use digital currency. I do think that Bitcoin is going to be the foundation of the future of digital currency. I think that it has achieved global network effects in a way that other projects have not. And in fact, almost every other project is really a derivative of Bitcoin itself. It has the most active technical community around it. There's real active innovation happening in that technology, new versions of the software, new versions of the protocol, and you don't see that from other projects. I really think of it more like Bitcoin is to HTTP and HTML what the web was. So we don't yet have the kind of mainstream browser of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is really the foundational architecture that other people can build on top of. That's not to say that it won't evolve and change and morph, because I think it will, because I think there's so much that is going to be built on top of it or be required to. But as an open source project and as an architecture that has broad adoption, it really seems to be in a very unique position. I think over the long run, I think as a form of money, as a kind of digital asset that one can build a lot of other products on top of, that it could be competitive to retail financial services products. I think we're a long way away from that, but I think having a global currency that is programmatic and can be automated and used on a lot of different platforms and devices does create opportunities for innovation that don't exist within the existing banking system. And so I do think over the long run, it can be very disruptive to consumer finance.